So when it comes to pocket knives, and really my EDC pocket knives, I look for a few things. I look for it to weigh under 4 ounces, to have a deep ride tip-up pocket clip, under 3.5-inch blade, and if possible, to have a blacked out blade. After that, really anything goes. If it's foreign produced or US produced, if it's, just as long as the steel is a pretty good quality and the overall ergonomics and design are intuitive to my hand and use. So as soon as I saw that Kershaw and Bladehq had partnered up to produce the Hype, which is really just a retake on an older design from Kershaw, the Kershaw Camber, which I really liked. But what they did was they actually tweaked a few things that I felt were missing in the Camber, and I think made it an even better overall knife. So this is a Bladehq exclusive with Kershaw. We'll have links in the description below over to Bladehq throughout this video, so if you want to go check this blade out. So let's just walk through it, break it down real quick, and show you why I really like this for an EDC knife. So here we are, you've seen the action, lots of fun there on how this guy performed. Really pleased with the blade performance of the knife. Now I want to run in 2 other knives here real quick, just for perspective from Kershaw. We have the S30V version of the Blur. I think that's the best bang for buck and performance value of the Blurs. There's lots of different options out there. You can see it's just a little bit more compact, just slightly shorter on the blade, slightly shorter on the handle. And then the Kershaw Skyline, again, just for some perspective there, the Skyline actually has a slightly longer handle than on the Hype. So that is something to consider. So just wanted to kind of run that in there, show you guys. And the Hype takes a lot from the very well-known classic Blur. Now the blade itself is 3.125 inches, so just a hair over 3 inches, which is really a fantastic size for EDC. It's 0.12 inches thick. Nice saber grind, blacked out finish that's showing a little bit of wear there, but not any sort of like scuffing. It just kind of picks up what you cut through, which is kind of cool. So it gives this little kind of worn look to it. And now the steel on this is different than what was on the Camber. The Camber had S30V, which is good steel. This one has N690 steel. Now, N690 is a good steel. I've used it on many different knives, very pleased with it. Somewhat similar to VG10, but I like it a little bit better than my VG10. Seems to hold an edge longer, easier to resharpen than some versions of my VG10. So very rust resistant, so the black coating is purely, for aesthetics, which I totally dig. But it's good. And what I found is that I can get a finer edge on this N690 than I could on my S30V version of my Camber. I would work on that thing, work on it, and I could never get really a nice fine edge on it. Whereas with this guy, just the grind angles, the grinding, everything that they've done, they've really given us a really good relief edge, and it's easier for me to get that wicked shaving sharp edge with the N690 than I could on my S30V of the Camber. Now we do have this kind of aesthetic swedge back here as well. Good tip, great belly, just an overall perfect, it is, I mean, it's just a perfectly designed blade for EDC tasks. Now we've got their speed safe open assist, snaps open with good speed. It's not super quick or anything. It's not as fast as some other, open assist products out on the market. It's decent, it's good. Snaps open, good, flipper right there, so ambidextrous, no thumb studs, just a finger flipper that sticks out. Good, protrudes, boom, whips open. Good solid lock bar for the locking mechanism right there. With that liner lock, hits the blade well. no play, you know, there's no wobble there, left, right, up, down, good solid lockup. And then when we close it up, the centering is just slightly to one side, just a hair, but it hasn't moved, and I've been EDCing this a lot because it's just been a lot of fun. Now, as I said, you know, if it's under 4 ounces, this thing comes in at 3.75, so it's a great, you know, carry weight, which I totally dig. That is done with the aluminum handle scales and then the rubber overmold or rubber inlays. You know, it gives you a little bit of traction there. Good cutouts, just good lines on it, just a good looking blade. Cool little white logo right there as well. And just feels really good in my large size hands. It fills it out with just a little bit to spare, which is exactly what I look for in my EDC blades. The handle's length is 4.25 inches and its thickness is 0.48, so just a hair under ½ an inch thick. And we do have a little lanyard hole post right there that you can throw in, a little aesthetics on the spine there, and a little bit of flow through construction. The way it's designed, you have just that slight bit of jimping. It's not going to cause any sort of problems, and that good cut in with that nice flipper. I mean, you are really locked into place for not only your, you know, average cutting task, but also if you did have to use this in a self-defense role, you could absolutely do that. I don't recommend that unless you're trained in that capacity, but if you know what you're doing, you would get great traction and lock up and not worry about sliding up and hurting yourself on the blade. Blacked out deep ride pocket clip, cannot complain. Ambidextrous with the flipper, so this is righties, lefties, you're gonna love it. And it fits really nice and flush, no complaints. Literally, this is how you make a pocket clip on a knife. Deep ride, loop over, blacked out, flush with the back. Cannot say more about it. Perfect in every way. Price point on this bad boy right now, it is on their sales price. It's been on sale for quite a while. I don't know if that's just kind of like how they pitch it or what, but it's 60 bucks. So for $60, I believe you're getting a great knife. Now, we will have links in the description below over to Bladehq, and that's always a great way to kind of help support the industry. Bladehq is always cranking out great products, carrying great products, and they're a great group of guys over there. So just go ahead and check them out. 60 bucks, great bang for buck, I think, for what you're getting from a USA-made Kershaw with good quality steel and great in every aspect. I can really have no complaints with the knife. So folks, there you have it. In conclusion, totally digging the hype, I think, particularly at that sales price. And again, I don't know how long that sales price will run for. I think it's a great deal and has a lot going for it, particularly in the US realm of production and design that Kershaw is doing. You know, they do mostly overseas produced, so I love to pick up their US stuff, and Bladehq, partnering with them, really knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. I really have no complaints with the design at all. So guys, thank you so much for coming over here today, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Any questions that you have, I'll answer in the comments below. And always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.